Hello everyone and welcome back to the 12 Days of Film. My name is Sol and I am reviewing a different movie from 2023, the first 12 days of January, and today we're talking about the latest Disney animated feature, Wish, which celebrates 100 years of Disney magic. And if 100 years of history has anything to say, it's that famous quote from The Dark Knight rings true.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Which, by the time I watched this film, I hadn't heard anything about it reception-wise. I know some people have shit on it. Some people do enjoy the movie. I personally knew nothing going in. I just knew it was a musical, which I was excited for. Not a lot of Disney musicals nowadays. And from the trailer, I saw it had its own animated style. With so many Disney Pixar movies looking the exact same way, I was happy to see a new style in the mix. That being said, the animation for this movie kinda sucks. Like, I don't want to rip on it. Like, it's definitely not bad. It's obviously $1 million movie. It's not gonna look bad. But it's cel-shaded 3D, forcing itself to kind of look 2D. If you saw the Chip and Dale movie that was on Disney Plus, the exact same thing going on there. And I kind of hated that movie, but I think it looked better in that movie than it does in Wish, for the most part. Like, that's the tricky thing. There are some moments in this film that look really bad, like just straight out bad. And then there's moments, especially during the musical sections, where it looks crisp. It looks how I want it to look. And another thing I was excited about, this is a musical, but the songs in this just feel very by the numbers. Like, they're not bad songs. Like, if you heard it like inside of a Disney store playing, like, it's gonna sound exactly the same as all the other songs. But when you watch the movie, the songs don't reflect the story in the same ways that other Disney movies do. There's songs dedicated to side characters, you don't know who they are. There are songs dedicated to plot elements that are immediately dropped. I've heard that some Disney songs are made before the movie is actually made, and that the film itself kind of has to zigzag around the songs, and I assume that's what happens here because these songs don't feel like they affect the plot at all, which is kind of the point of a musical. I don't really have anything good or bad to say about the characters of this film. I will say Chris Pine is a good villain. He's like a comically evil, he might as well be like a mustache twirling, I'm the bad guy written on my forehead type of villain, but he's entertaining. He keeps the film alive for the most part. Asha, the main lead, is kind of whatever the plot needs her to be in that moment. She kind of feels like a lot of other Disney princesses combined. Like, when she needs to be adventurous and fun, she's adventurous and fun. And when she needs to be vulnerable, she's vulnerable. And whatever she is in that moment, she doesn't have anything distinct about her. But I don't really have any specific things I can say about Anya. And the rest of the side characters, like, they literally have like 7 friends. She has like 7 friends that are supposed to imitate the 7 dwarves. Probably the worst random slew of characters I've seen in a Disney movie, because they're trying to pinhole them into these older characters, but at the same time trying to cram them into this movie, so at best they get a couple lines of dialogue, but they're not good there either. There's not like super funny dialogue or anything like that. Then she has her animal sidekick character, who is constantly, he is in this movie a lot, and again, he doesn't affect the plot. He's just there to be a quippy sidekick character, and he is not funny. But I do have good things to say about the movie too. Should probably get the premise out the way. So, in this enchanted fairy tale town, they have wishes, which are physical embodiments. Like, your wish is able to be handed to this wizard guy. And the wizard guy collects them all, and then once a month he gives someone their wish. And that might sound like an awesome thing, but they turn it into a very bad guy. But he's basically just hoarding them, and eventually is trying to siphon their power and take them for himself. They are able to turn this into a very malicious thing. And when the trailer for this movie popped, it made it seem like he was a bad guy just because he wasn't giving everyone their wishes, which I saw some people being like, is that really so evil? Should everyone have their wish? I didn't like that when I saw that in the trailer, but how it's executed in the movie is actually really interesting. Instead of doing the classic Disney, oh, you know, someone makes your wish come true, you just gotta wish upon it. No. The wish is within your power and you have to take responsibility for it and make it happen yourself. I like that idea. I think what the initial premise that they had on the script, I think that could have worked for a classic Disney movie. It's just every little decision they made around it boxed this movie into some weird monstrosity, which is complete with, like, there's at least like 100 references in this movie. And I didn't know that going in. I didn't know, I knew 100 years of Disney was happening. I didn't think that this film was affected by it. But yes, there is at least 100 references in this movie, which just blowed up the script. They blowed up random little plot elements. At first, I thought they were setting up like a prequel to like the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White. And I was like, wait a minute, that's from Cinderella. And then I was like, oh, it's just random references for the sake of it. What results is a pretty just hollow movie, like a movie that felt like it existed for the sake of it. And Disney has a magic formula. They can produce amazing films by sticking to that formula, but for whatever reason, this movie gives such a half attempt that it doesn't even feel like a Disney movie. It feels like an AI generated Disney movie. It felt like a bad fan film. But the concept, Chris Pine, they saved this film. The rest of it, I could give or take. For the most part though, like, I'm a sucker for these kinds of films. Like, I eat up the Disney musical magic from my childhood. I'm all about that. But when it's like this, the best I can give Wish is a 6 out of 10. Probably my least favorite Disney film in a long time. That being said, I hope you guys are enjoying the final days of the 12 days of film. I'll see you tomorrow with another movie review, and until next time with that, I leave you.